Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, when we did your February reading, your key to the week was the Temperance card. And the Temperance card is all about finding balance, but it's also about bringing together possibly disparate energies, people, persons, maybe it's even you playing not even playing, maybe it's you being the alchemist in some sense of the, because this card is about spiritual alchemy. It's about taking and very often finding or transcending the meaning of events that we've faced in our lives. And very often it's about taking the challenges, it's about taking things that are disparate or things that don't necessarily mix and finding a way to blend them. Now remember, the power of alchemy only works because there is an alchemist involved in this process. So this week remember that you are the secret ingredient, right? You could set all of the stuff up on its own. It's the same with herbcraft, and herb lore in the old world. Yes, these plants have all of their innate abilities, but without the correct knowledge of the sorcerer or the witch or the wizard, whatever you want to call yourself or whatever, they kind of just sit there and they grow in the wild and they don't do anything. It relies us understanding that we are that secret weapon, maybe even the secret weapon, but we are that secret ingredient. So this week, for your actions and your path ahead, you have the Death card. What is it that you are ready to transition away from, to move out of, or to let go of in your life? Now, sometimes the process of spiritual alchemy is about transformation. The Death card is about transformation. So this sees you very proactive this week about bringing something to a conclusion, but a satisfactory one. This is one that on a deep innate level. This is about you saying to yourself, you know what? I know that I'm ready to release this. I know that I'm ready to transcend this experience. I know that maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a connection, maybe it is maybe it's a project. Sometimes this is the thing as well. I've talked about this before. When we have things that are unfinished in our lives or on our paths, even though it's not necessarily here at the forefront, in the back of your mind, in the depths of who you are, there's some part of you that understands that something is left unfinished. And if that is the case, this week you could be going through the process of eliminating those things and saying, okay, you know what? I don't have time to dedicate to this. I don't have time I don't have time to finish this. This is very much a week for you, Libra, where it's about either fix it or forget it. If you don't have time for it, if it's something that you keep saying, you know what, I'll get there, choose to put it down, right? Choose to let it end so that you can move forward. And ultimately, whenever you see the Temperance card and the Death card together, it means that some form of death is assured. Now, I will say this to you, no, sorry, wrong card. That's the Judgment card, so scrap that. When you see the Temperance card and the Death card together, it means that you are ready to transcend an experience. It means that you really are ready to release something or someone and truly let it go. So for your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Swords. It does look like whatever you're phasing out, releasing or letting go of or transforming this week, it may be that the person, if there's another person involved, it may be that they don't want to be let go. It may be that they don't want whatever it is that you have with them to come to an end. Now, the Page of Swords, aside from all of its other meanings, can sometimes be somebody that refuses to let go, or somebody that is in effect immature, somebody that doesn't have the the inward capacity to have the mature conversation, or to realize when something has come to its natural end. This could see you having, interesting words with somebody as you kind of lay down the way that things are going to be from here on in. And what that might create for you is a little bit of tension between you and this person. It's not up to us for other people, to force others to understand where we're at. We don't have to do that. We just have to tell them where we're at. Whether they come to that understanding, what it means to them and all the rest of it, that's on other people, right? We can only ever really take, take responsibility for ourselves and what we understand and what we offer to people. How they interpret it when they take it in and digest it is completely on them. So consider this week, obviously we do have a Mercury retrograde, so consider this week that maybe the conversation that you need to have, maybe this is the week where you think about it and think about what you truly want to say, so that you're prepared to go into the conversation with all outcomes with all outcomes thought about in advance, I guess. All right, for your money and materials, you've got the Six of Pentacles. So there's a couple of things that come to me here. The first really big one here, this is about you transforming this need to be all things to all people. Wherever it is that you have assumed responsibility for somebody on a financial level, maybe where you have been footing the bill for somebody else, maybe where this person has constantly needed your help to be bailed out when it comes to a financial situation, this could be the week where you finally cut them off. It could be the week where you say, you know what, I've done, I've given, I've been all of these things at all times to any one or several people at any one time. I can no longer do it. And it's not just a case of you can't do it, it's more a case of you won't. The fact that you've got this off of that sort of Page of Swords, so your Six of Pentacles is a very Libran influence anyway. So this is an energy of yours, and it finally looks like you are doing the right thing by yourself. You are considering what is good for you. You are considering what is going to keep you in good stead when it comes to the money, when it comes to the materials. It sees you really saying, you know what, I refuse to either go without on somebody else's behalf or bail them out anymore. This is about you getting really serious about this. And because it comes underneath that Death card, it really does see you making this a finite decision. So there'll be no sort of, where in the past maybe you've kind of made this decision and then backtracked a little. This time there'll be none of that. It's like you're making a decision for somebody to kind of fend for themselves. And in the process, what it looks like is you're actually standing for yourself, which is a really beautiful place to be. Finally, for your love and relations, you've got the Five of Pentacles. So it does look like this may very well be a child, it may be a relative, it may be a partner of some sort. It looks like whoever this person is, it's somebody that is fairly close to you. And it may be a challenge for you. When we love people, when we care about people, this is very often why we bail somebody out. Because we love them, because we care for them. However, if we consistently step in to help that person, if we consistently step in to say, oh, you know what, okay, you can't deal. There's a couple of things that are happening during that exchange. One, effectively you're patronizing them and convincing them that they don't, it's almost like you take somebody else's power away and you say to them, well, you can't do this for yourself, so I'll do it for you. There's a form of patronization in there, as much as we might not want to admit it. I've been guilty of this in my past. I'll never stand here and say that I'm, clean of anything, because that's just the way that it is. But sometimes this becomes a pattern. We just end up bailing somebody out, and we do it so remotely or so many times that it becomes unconscious, until one day we kind of wake up and say, no, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. And effectively what you're doing as well is that person a disservice from learning how to deal with their crap on their own. And sometimes it really is a harsh lesson to have to learn, but unless it is learned, and sometimes in the harshest way, it never gets learned. This person needs to understand that they can find sanctuary, that they can push past the current way that they feel or the circumstances that they have, but they are going to need to learn to walk this road on their own. For those of you that are single, it looks like you might be having words with your, somebody that maybe you're seeing, or maybe you're looking at your love life and thinking, you know what, it's kind of devoid or empty empty at this moment in time. Like, where is my person? And if that is the case, it does suggest that at the moment you do have a few things that need to be settled. You've got a few things that need to be wrapped up before you can start thinking about welcoming love in. For those of you that are partnered, again, it does look like you might be having some of the bigger, sort of heavier conversations this week with a partner. It does look like maybe, for those of you that are partnered, maybe it's a partner saying to you, look, you know what, there's an aspect of this that I'm no longer sort of willing to do anymore. Maybe there's your partner is saying to you, look, I don't perceive myself continuing in this way. Or maybe it's you, or maybe you've both reached an impasse and now you're at a place where nothing seems to be moving and there seems to be something lacking. This could be the week where you rediscover that spark, where you really rediscover what is it that's missing from this now? What is it that we need to put back into the relationship for us to really enjoy being in each other's presence and company? All right, so it looks like a challenging week for you guys this week, you know. I mean, it had to happen at some point, right? For a while you were kind of, floating and coasting along there and it was nice, and, now we have some more challenges. And this is the thing, it all works together, right? It can't always be one thing and it can't always be one way. This, this cycle, spiral dance of life is what keeps it interesting, and it's what keeps the cosmos spinning. So with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a relatively fantastic week. Take care. I wish you all of the best of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.